What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster, and things were looking good for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 pretty much across the board until somebody noticed this news here, that Saudi Arabia was banning the game from their country.
Hold it! What the hell is that shit?
Reportedly, there is an unskippable gay scene in the game which caused the Saudis to ban it from their country. Naturally, lots of people have raised their eyebrows over this situation, and some people have even gone so far as to ask for refunds on the game, and to say that they don't have any interest in playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 any longer. Now, I certainly haven't jumped to that level, but I definitely have questions.
Hey, what is going on here?
The biggest trouble is that we haven't gotten any word from the studio itself. Warhorse would be wise to get out ahead of this and let everyone know what they can expect in the game. I personally don't care if there are gay characters in the game, but there are lines that can be crossed. If they use a gay scene to lecture me, for example, about how it's mean not to accept that sort of lifestyle, then I'm out. And considering that this studio branded itself as being particularly woke-free, which galvanized many of us gamers into supporting them, I think it's fair to expect some answers.
Speak to me!
The thing is, if this scene is just a brief and unimportant scene that the Saudis have overreacted to, then it really shouldn't be hard to tell us that. I understand the studio's desire to avoid spoilers or anything like that, but if the game isn't woke, and if they didn't try to hide shit from us that they're using to curry favor with the likes of the access media, then it would be simple enough to say basically just that. But their silence in the past day or so, ever since this issue popped up, is growing louder and louder. As I say all the time, do not pre-order, and this is why. If the game ends up being fine, we, the gamers, will buy it up in droves. But if the game ends up mockingly sticking its tongue out at us, well, gamers have a response to that too.
Oh!
Alright, so my stance on this requires a fair amount of clarification. Everybody always talks about what makes a game woke, and I will say this. Simply having characters in a game who happen to be gay does not ruin the game for me. If the scene in question in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 ends up being some simple situation, let me just give an example. You walk into a room and a couple of guys are getting dressed, and the implication is that they just did the deed. Well, I don't actually care about that. Look at the movie Braveheart as an example of media depicting an ancient era where they had a gay character, but they were still able to pull it off and maintain an aura of historical accuracy. What will piss me off is if we are forced to watch the deed, because to be clear, I don't want that for a gay or straight relationships. I like to see attractive female characters, for example. As a straight guy, that's alright to see, but I don't need to see the actual deed. Or even if in the game, in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, it's just an implication and they don't actually show anything, I'd still be pissed if, instead of moving on with the game, they insert a new character into the story after that scene whose whole personality is the fact that he's gay. Or if the narrative shifts, even if only for a minute or two, talking about how people aren't accepting of same-sex relationships in that era, that sort of thing would piss me off. I don't want any discussions on the subject. If a character just happens to be gay, then fine. I don't care, as long as it makes sense, but no lectures, because the thing is, if I end up buying this game, it won't be because I have any interest in being informed about anything revolving around same-sex relationships. I will have purchased it because I want to get into some sword fights and explore an ancient world. And actually, let me explain my position this way. I don't mind having trees in video games. Trees exist in the real world, and so when a video game has trees in the background, there's nothing wrong with that. You could even say that it helps add to the immersion of the game because it makes it feel more realistic. But imagine then that the designer of the game forces your character every time you walk past a tree in their game to auto-lock onto the tree for a few seconds and then comment on what kind of tree it is. I've got nothing against trees, but my dude, if I want to look at the trees that you made, I will willingly walk into the forest and look at the damn trees. Now, if you made a game that's a nature walk simulator and it was advertised as such, then I guess I'm looking at some trees. But if you made a game where I'm supposed to be fighting some bad guys, then that is what I should be doing. Anyhow, I hope that clarifies my position at least a little bit. I have nothing against gay characters in and of themselves, or black characters for that matter. There are screenshots of at least one black fella, but he appears to be something of a merchant, and he's in a trading hub city, so I have no problem with any of that either. And as far as the gay stuff goes, it'll be how it's handled in the game that will dictate how I feel about it. It's worth noting that despite the reports that Saudi Arabia banned the game from their country, there's no actual evidence of any LGBT adult scenes in the game at all yet, so people really might be jumping the gun on this. There's also speculation that the game isn't officially banned in Saudi Arabia either. As of the time of this recording, the game is still in the Saudi Steam store. So, there are a whole lot of unknowns right now, which is why my position has not changed. I think the game still looks awesome, but I'm not going to pre-order it because they aren't going to run out of copies, and I want to make sure that it's worthy of my money. And I've got to say, actually the most disappointing part of the whole situation is the fact that Warhorse hasn't said anything about it at all. They could have put the rumors to rest really quickly by just simply saying that yes, there are a few characters in the game who are gay. There were nobles, for example, back in that time period who were into that stuff, and this game was just trying to be as realistic as possible, but it isn't a focus, and we aren't attempting to pander to anyone. If they said something as simple as that, then I'm sure that most of this fire would have been put out by now, but they are definitely under fire. Unfortunately, Daniel Vavra, the co-founder of Warhorse, has only responded to one person among the legion of people who have been asking for clarification about the game. Now, a lot of people have seen that Vavra called someone a literal 1930s German, and they've gotten quite upset about this, which is understandable because all the woke developers across the entire spectrum of the gaming industry have been calling people that non-stop for years now, anytime anyone disagrees with anything that they say. But let me dispel at least a bit of your concern here. As you can see, the post that Daniel Vavra responded to, calling someone a 1930s German, is not available on X right now for legal reasons. I saw it before it was taken down. I didn't manage to pull any screenshots before it went away, but suffice to say, the dude that Vavra responded to is an actual psycho. There's a good reason that Daniel Vavra said what he said. He isn't calling normal gamers 1930s Germans. I mean, for further clarification, this is the dude's profile on X. It's been temporarily removed because, once again, this person crossed the line from edgelord into actual psycho. So anyone who's concerned about this response from Vavra can be assured that what he said was not inappropriate at all, based on the context. So, with all that said, I really wish that Warhorse would make an official statement and put this controversy to rest. I think they're really underestimating the tenacity and stubbornness of gamers. We aren't the sort who will forget about this subject. This will dog them until the game releases, and if something unacceptable does get discovered, it will have the potential to ruin the studio. Honesty and being forthright, that is the best policy here by a mile. And as far as it goes for people on our side of the aisle, well, a gay scene and the existence of some number of black characters are not disqualifying at all. In my view, that doesn't make it woke. If it bothers you enough, then do your thing. I'm a strong advocate for people making their own decisions. We aren't a monolith around here. For me, I'll have a problem when a game tries to shove progressive shit in my face and lecture me. It's especially bad when a studio does this with an established IP. But in any event, the official verdict from me is that I'm still supportive of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I think it'll likely end up being a great game, but I am very cautious, and as usual, I am definitely not pre-ordering. I once called this the most pre-orderable game that I've seen in a long time, and I still didn't pre-order it. So yeah, just take your time, don't pre-order, and let's see what happens. In any event though, I'm gonna leave it there. What are your thoughts on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Are you still supporting it or no? Drop those thoughts into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.